What gives victory to a real estate investor and brings him a maximum profit? It's the planning done ahead of time that creates a decisive difference. And when you know that a housing market crash is ahead, you can plan beforehand. If an investor knows what will happen in the future market, he invests accordingly and gets the returns. However, if no attention is paid to the future market and indicators, whether it's a new investor or a seasoned one, defeat is certain for him. And what if there's a housing crash in the not-so-distant future? What should you do to prepare for it and use it as an opportunity to get benefits? Whether you should buy as many properties as you can now, or should you stay guarded and not indulge in buying at all? This is what we're going to talk about today in our video. How can you prepare for the imminent housing crash? But what is a housing crash? You will know everything about it and how to prepare for it in the video. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel to watch more videos that do matter to you. Let's get started. First things first, what is a housing crash? A housing crash is more of a phenomenon where the housing bubble pops up and the prices of properties decline drastically. During a normal real estate market, people buy homes and commercial properties either by paying upfront or on a mortgage. With time and during conditions when the interest rate is low, new home buyers might want to buy houses. This increases the demands for homes, and their prices start to increase gradually. The supply of houses and properties remains the same, or even diminishes every day since more people are buying properties. However, on the other hand, the demand increases, which pushes the prices of houses to the sky. Even after the prices reach a high point, buyers still want to buy homes. This adds more pressure, and the housing bubble starts to be filled. The prices increase to an all-time high, which is a temporary stage, until the housing bubble bursts. The time when the prices of properties are high is the time that indicates a housing crash. When homeowners see that the prices are high, they try to sell their properties and even build more to fulfill the demands. Just before this happens, the already high prices make buyers give up buying houses in such conditions. There's a decline in the purchase of the properties. However, new sellers still have their properties available for selling. And when this happens, there is more supply than demand. This causes the housing bubble to burst, which, in other words, means that the high prices plunge and reach an all-time low. Hence, when a housing crash happens, the prices of properties decline dramatically. There are fewer buyers while there is more supply of properties, decreasing the prices further, which takes years to retrieve. The financial crash of 2007 and 2008 shows a perfect example. During that crash, the prices of houses declined like never before. In the United States, house prices declined by 7.1% in the last quarter of 2008. The housing crash had lingering effects that stayed until the first quarter of 2010, when the house prices plunged by another 7%. In the United Kingdom, house prices fell by 15% between 2008 and 2009. The housing crash had such formidable effects that it took the UK housing market about 7 years to reach the prices it was in 2007. There are chances that, at this moment, you might want to buy or sell properties. What if there's a housing crash ahead? Should you buy more properties or sell them out? Don't panic, because we have made a list of the things you should do to prepare for the imminent housing crash. Try to understand them and know where you're standing to avoid any losses and make a profit. Number 1. Have cash in your hands. You know this. During a housing crash, the prices of the properties are going to be down. At this very moment, which is before the housing crash, the prices are high due to the fact that demand is high. But when the prices will decline, it's possible that you might buy 3 properties at the same price you could buy 2 properties today. Hence, to do so, you need to keep cash in your hands. Try to have as much cash as possible, as if you will be shopping at a 15 to 20% discount. These are the price cuts you will never get again. Hence, seize the opportunity and make up your mind to buy houses when the housing market crashes. But how? Well, have extra cash and keep it safe. Number 2. Do not buy more properties at this moment. Just before a housing market crash happens, the housing bubble is in the process of inflation. In other words, this means that the house prices are extraordinarily and artificially high due to the high demands. Hence, if you have the capital to buy property at this moment, wait for the housing market crash to happen. This will be the time when you could buy properties at their original prices, or even lower than that. However, if you want to buy houses during an inflated housing market, you'll be paying more than what the property is worth. Time matters here. Hence, keep your cash safe and take it out when there are more opportunities on the market at the lowest prices possible. Number 3. Consider selling properties if you are getting a good price. If you're holding properties and thinking of selling in the next 2 to 3 years, then perhaps it will not bring you profit at all. Even there are chances that you will end up bearing losses. But why? Well, during the housing market crash, the prices will decline, and hence you will prefer not to sell your properties. But the market will take another 2 to 3 or possibly more years to revive. However, you would not wait that long, and hence might sell properties at low prices, but you still have time to decide what you want. This is the time when you should finally make up your mind about selling. If you're getting a good price, which you will be getting since the market is inflated, consider selling your properties. If you sell, keep the cash with you so that you can use it to buy properties during the market crash. Don't buy more properties at this moment. Rather, postpone the plan until the market crashes. Number 4. Do not get into any liability. We're talking about the worst case scenario when the housing market will crash and the prices will decline. And if you know that something like that is going to happen, you'll prefer not to spend your money and save it for that time. You will save the money to buy properties at low prices during the crash. However, if you get into any liability, you'll end up having no or less capital than needed. A liability is anything that has some value, but it takes money away from your pocket. You might think that your car is an asset. However, it's not. It's a liability that takes money away from your pocket when you buy it and continues to do so until you sell it. You spend money on maintenance, fuel, and much more, which decreases your chances of buying properties at low prices during a housing market crash. This might not seem visible, but this is what it does. Hence, during this time, postpone the idea of buying any liability until you make a profit from the housing market crash. Number 5. Avoid fear of missing out and be proactive. One of the things that hurt real estate investors the most before a housing market crash is the fear of missing out on the properties. Before the market crashes, the prices are high. However, panic and fear might result in irrational decisions. Investors might feel that this is the right time to buy this particular price at this price. Otherwise, they might miss it out. This should never be in mind. Not at all. Since the housing market crash gives you options to select. If you're feeling that you should pay a bit high of a price, then perhaps you're making a wrong decision. Another risky decision you might make is having debts before the crash. It's a good idea to have the cash to buy extra properties at low prices. However, you must also have a backup plan, an idea of what might happen if the market does not crash. Hence, having debts that you might not be able to pay back is perhaps a risky decision, not a prudent one. Number 6. Have an emergency fund. During a housing market crash, the impacts can flow to other businesses as well. Hence, there is the possibility that your income might be affected. There is every possibility, since we're talking about a market crash, something that can leave many unemployed when the mud of this battle sits. Hence, consider having an emergency fund. Try to have at least money equal to 3 to 6 months of expenses in your emergency fund. You can even put in more money as well, depending upon your lifestyle and your income. The idea is to have enough money to spend on your needs during uncertain times, if your income stops. Do you have enough cash in your hand to hunt for properties during a housing market crash? Do you think a housing crash can occur? Comment your opinion in the comment section right below. If you loved the video, consider giving it a like. And if you want to watch more videos like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Until the next video, stay tuned.